Let me ask you something. Have you noticed your iron shots just aren't flying as far as they used to? Or maybe you're just looking for a fantastic set of clubs that won't cost you an arm and a leg. Well, today, we're digging into a bit of a legend, the TaylorMade RocketBladez. Now, they were a total game changer about a decade ago. But the real question is, can they still be a secret weapon for the senior golfer today? Let's find out.
Because that's really what it all boils down to, isn't it? It's not about the history, it's about how these clubs perform right now. Can a club that's been around for 10 years actually solve the biggest headaches we face on the course? You know, getting more distance, finding that elusive consistency, and launching the ball nice and high? We're gonna break it all down.
All right, first up, let's talk about the big one. The issue I hear about more than anything else, losing that precious yardage. It is so frustrating, right? But the technology to fight back, well, it's been around for a lot longer than you might think.
Look, it's just a simple fact of golf. As we get a little older, our swing speed naturally starts to dip. That 7-iron that used to be your go-to for 150 yards might now be maxing out at 135. And listen, that's not a flaw in your swing, it's just physics. But what if your club could help you rewrite that equation?
And this right here is the magic ingredient. TaylorMade introduced this little slot in the bottom of the club called the speed pocket, and believe me, it was a total game changer. What it does is actually pretty simple. It lets the club face flex and rebound way more when you hit the ball, especially on those shots you catch a little low.
The trampoline analogy you see here is absolutely perfect. You know, as the ball makes contact, the speed pocket lets the face just spring it forward with a ton more energy. It's a really simple idea with a massive effect. More ball speed, which means more distance, and all without you having to swing out of your shoes. And here's where this tech becomes so incredibly practical. Come on, a lot of us, myself included, we tend to hit the ball a little thin sometimes, right? With a normal iron, that's a total disaster. A low, weak shot that goes absolutely nowhere. But because the speed pocket is right there at the bottom of the face, it basically saves that miss hit. It preserves your ball speed and more often than not, gets you way closer to the green than you deserve.
So getting good distance on your solid strikes is one thing. But what about the ones that aren't so perfect? Well, this is where forgiveness comes into play. It is the absolute key to consistent scoring. And these clubs, they are packed with it.
We've all had those days, haven't we? You get to the course, your back's a little tight, and the swing just doesn't feel like it's in the groove. On days like that, you need a club that works with you, not against you. One that gives you a much bigger margin for error.
So this is TaylorMade's other really clever piece of tech hidden inside the club head. Instead of having one tiny little sweet spot right in the middle, they engineered the face to create a much larger area that still produces great ball speed. So what does that mean? It means a shot that's a little off the toe or a little on the heel won't be nearly as punishing.
And this feeling of forgiveness, it actually starts before you even take the club back. When you look down at the ball, you see a top line that's got some substance to it, which just sends a message to your brain like, hey, I've got plenty of club behind this thing. It's not one of those scary, razor-thin blades, but it's also not a big, oversized shovel. It's just that perfect in-between that really inspires confidence.
So let's just boil this down to what it means out on the course. The high MOI, or moment of inertia. That just means the club head is super stable. It doesn't want to twist when you hit it off center, which leads to straighter shots. You combine that with the bigger sweet spot, and suddenly your bad shots become so much better. A mishit that used to be 20 yards short and in the right rough might now just land on the front fringe. And that, my friends, is a huge difference.
Okay, so we've covered distance and we've covered forgiveness. But there's a third piece to this puzzle that is absolutely vital for scoring, especially for senior golfers. Getting that ball to fly high and land softly on the green.
Oh man, this is a classic problem. Those long irons, you know, a 4-iron, a 5-iron, they can feel impossible to hit well. They come out low like a frozen rope and just run right off the back of the green. But to hold the green on a long approach shot, you have got to get that higher launch.
And the solution here is just some beautifully simple engineering. The designers basically shoved as much weight as they could way down, low and deep in the club head. This low center of gravity, or CG, naturally helps get the ball up in the air. It makes it easy to get airborne, creating that towering flight that helps it stop on a dime when it lands on the green.
You know what's great is this technology actually promotes a better swing. So many golfers try to help the ball into the air with this scooping motion. With these clubs, you can do the exact opposite. You just trust the club's design, you hit down on the ball to compress it, and you just let that low center of gravity do all the heavy lifting. The result is an effortless, high launch, even with your longer irons. It's fantastic. So, the on-course performance is clearly there, no question. But now, let's switch gears and talk about one of the biggest off-course problems for so many golfers, the absolutely staggering cost of new equipment. So what does this number mean? It's all about value. A brand new set of game improvement irons today, it can easily set you back $1,200, maybe even more. That is a huge investment. The RocketBladez, on the other hand, well, you can find them now for just a tiny fraction of that price. And this is the million-dollar question you have to ask yourself. Sure, the technology in brand new clubs is a little bit better, a little more refined, but is it $800 or $1,000 better? For the average golfer, the answer is almost certainly no. The performance gains you see are often tiny, while the cost increase is, well, it's massive. This comparison really puts everything into perspective, doesn't it? You're getting technology that was literally revolutionary when it first came out and is still incredibly effective today for a price that just makes sense. You get the distance, the forgiveness, and the high launch you're looking for, all without having to empty your bank account. And this really shows you the whole package. It's not just one club, it's an entire set of irons, all designed to work together to make this game easier and way more enjoyable. It's like getting a high-performance engine for your golf game that has suddenly become incredibly affordable.
And let's just touch on a couple of final points here that are really important for senior players. First, the feel is just fantastic. That speed pocket is filled with a material that dampens vibration, so mishits don't sting your hands or elbows. And second, if you can find a set with lightweight Senior Flex graphite shafts, you can generate more clubhead speed with less effort. It all adds up to better golf, and more comfortable golf.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. It is so easy to get caught up in all the marketing hype for the newest, shiniest clubs. But at the end of the day, the goal is to find equipment that solves your problems on the course. The RocketBladez offer technology that is perfectly suited to the senior golfer, proving that sometimes the smartest choice isn't the newest one, it's the right one. Thanks for tuning in.